Hey folks, last video here for the fourth DBQ. This one's a little bit more straightforward than the previous one we did, which was the European power and regional one. This one also has more ways you could go at it, at least in my opinion. Let's talk about the DBQ. All right. So once again, it's the same one you're going to see on Thursday. Two additional pieces of specific historical evidence. There's a lot of timeline material that can be plugged in here. For at least two of the documents, explain how the point of view or purpose or historical situation or audience is relevant to the argument. And you get your bonus thing here. Okay, great. So same rubric we've looked at 4 times now. Remember, there's also a not bonus, but optional one if you want to take a stab at a fifth one. I posted the Caribbean smuggling one. So you've seen this rubric before. I've talked about it on the videos before. So let's look at this one here. Okay, document 1. We have a table. Okay, it is data gathered by British colonial authorities talking about the production of cotton, yarn, and cloth in India. And basically what you see is between 1884 and 1914, the handmade stuff drops dramatically, yarn, cloth, and is replaced largely by machine spun yarn and machine spun cloth. So you're looking at a process of industrialization. Same thing you see in England about 80 years earlier. Okay, so we have a process of industrialization. All right. Next, we have Raj Kamal Mukherjee, an Indian economist, and he's talking about the development of mechanization of the textile industry. And he says basically it's domestic. It's, quote, native bankers and investors. Then document 3, we have Gandhi from 1932, and he says that machinery has made us dependent on England. The only way we can rid ourselves is to boycott all goods made by machinery. So you can hear Gandhi is disagreeing with Mukherjee here. Mukherjee saying, this is fine, this is great. Mechanization is a domestic industry. Gandhi says, no, it enslaves us to the English. Document number 4 is a report of the British Royal Commission. Most of the workers in the cotton mills are recruited from among the small peasants and agricultural laborers, along with unemployed hand weavers. So you're seeing the same kind of thing, the shift from small-scale workers into the factories. Wages are low, no significant change in wages over the last decade. So they are not well paid. And document 5, the last one, is a picture. And in the picture, what you can see here, this is a spinning machine for spinning yarn. You see the little yarn bobbins there. And it's being operated by a pair of Indian men with another Indian man who seems to, I would assume that he is an overseer of some description, considering these men are barefoot and he seems to have shoes. So my guess is he's either the owner or a factory floor supervisor of some description. Okay. So let's go back to the question, see what it's asking us. Using the following documents, analyze the nature of the cotton industry in India in the period from the 1880s to the 1930s. Okay, so that gives us a couple of different options. You could do a continuity and change over time because you have a period of time. You have a 50-year period of time. So you could look at between 1884 and the 1930s, what's going on. So you could look at that. This one's Mukherjee's is from 1916, Gandhi's from 32, this one's from 35, and then the last one is from 1935. So you could argue, that there's a continuity of the fact that you have textile industry, but the change in the nature of the textile production from small-scale cottage industry, hand-spun, to a much bigger mechanized genuine industry, if you will. So that is one angle you could argue. You could do a comparison between in terms of perspectives on things, which would be an interesting one to do. And I think I'm at the end of this video, so hang on here. All right. So, and stop.